So it looks like Love and Marriage Huntsville star Melody Shari is blasting her own executive producer, Carlos King, after his most recent Messy Mondays recap with Dr. Heavenly. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So normally we don't recap or talk about some of the Love and Marriage Huntsville mess that transpires on social media. However, I had a little bit of time and I kept on seeing some of the tweets and the YouTube conversations that people are talking about, because very often we don't see Melody come at Carlos King. If anything, we thought that they were really tight. And I did find that a little surprising, but not so surprising because they are working as producers and collaborators on this show. They have had success with this show. And part of me feels, and part of me was sort of hesitant doing the video because part of me was like, is this a scheme that Carlos set up for us to talk about it to promote the show? But I did tell you in my last recap of Love and Marriage Huntsville, I enjoyed this episode. It was probably their best episode in a long time. And okay, I'm not a girl, so I don't know about girls' trips. And apparently there's this big conversation about girls' trips and why they never work out. I didn't know that that was a thing. You guys let me know if that's really a thing, because I've seen girls' trips that always go well. Because if you're going on a girls' trip, you're going with people you like. Maybe. But also people are still reacting to Dr. Shanita, from Football Wives, and how she defended Melody. And, and I even said it during my recap. I was like, uh-oh, why is Dr. Shanita talking so much? And I still stand by that. But Melody seemed to be really bothered by the commentary that people have had about this last episode. And I was actually surprised by her reaction, because it was just like, because usually people have said so many things about Melody over the years and you don't really see her go off too much. So it's been a while since she's gone off. So she decided to, on multiple TikTok lives as she's packaging orders for her beauty line, she went off a couple of days in a row. First on toxic leadership. Who is she talking about? That executives?
Because it needs to be said. It needs to be said, so I'm gonna say it. But when you are in a leadership position, or so-called leadership position, or executive position, cleanser and mango, it's just certain things that you just supposed to like you don't talk about you don't talk about your people that's putting a check in your pocket. You don't. I ain't never seen, I'm just gonna be honest, I've never seen the owner of let's see, what's a good one? I've never witnessed, what you say, Lauren? I've never seen the owner of, let's think of a good brand. 7th Avenue talk about the people who's putting money in our pockets, the people who are part of this team, the people who make the wheels turn. What I look like getting up here talking about Lauren. Now I can pick with her though, but that, and then want her to still show up to work the next day. Okay? What I look like doing that for? Why would I do that? Why would I do that? That's like, there are people who are on a path of self-destruction, and that's all they know is self-destruction. It ain't nobody doing it to you. It ain't nobody forcing you nothing. You are self-destructing yourself. Okay? Somebody said toxic leadership. That part. Oh.
She could be talking about other executives a part of Love and Marriage Huntsville, but who's the executive that's all up in the video? Remember that from, the Diddy of it all? And a lot of you have said this. Why is this executive producer always in your face? Why is he on YouTube? Why is he interviewing this one or that one and being messy? But people have said so many things about Carlos, including myself. So I'm not going to act like I'm all innocent. Anyways, but this was interesting for me because I was like, literally at the beginning of the season, we see Melody do a podcast with Carlos, and some fans have accused Carlos of using the millimeters to help fill that particular venue and to sort of off the back of Melody and her fan base to make a successful kickoff of his tour. Some of you have said that. So I did find it surprising that Melody was so upset by his review. And honestly, I hate you all. I don't hate y'all, but I am so mad. Y'all know I don't want to listen to those Messy Monday recaps just between Dr. Heavenly's voice and Carlos's voice. I'm like, oh goodness, no. I'm very sensitive to sounds. Okay, so I bared through that recap just to see why Melody might have been pressed. And I think because they've been doing Messy Mondays for a while now, and I would have thought that Melody would have reacted to some of the past episodes and recaps and things that Carlos and Dr. Heavenly have said. And I think she may have. But her reaction this week was actually pretty interesting. And that's part of the reason why I said, okay, I want to talk about this, because I've been watching it the last couple of days and I've watched her lives. And shout out to, I think it's Aquarian TV, where we're going to post a clip of what Melody had to say. And of course, I'm going to be posting what Carlos had to say and what Dr. Heavenly had to say.
On girls' trips. So the thing is this, you've been on plenty of girls' trips with your cast. Why are girl trips so complicated? Because there's a whole TikTok discussion, Dr. Heavenly, about this episode and how this episode reflects how girls' trips never go right. Why is that?
Because half them hoes really don't like each other. And to me, it's never fair. It's all about who you like and who you don't like. Like, to me, if I like Melody, I'm going to say that she didn't fuck up them rooms on purpose. But if I don't like Melody, I'm like, look, and she knew what room she put them in. Because Destiny, she clearly don't like. Because that's Martell's friend. And she put them in. So it's all about who you like and who you don't like. Nothing else. Nothing else.
So do you think Melody purposefully did the rooms like that because she don't like some of the girls?
No, I think that you did that rooms like that because
well,
you don't like the girls.
I can tell you. I can tell you that didn't happen.
I'm just fucking with you, baby. I'm just playing. Don't get on it. I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
I got look. I got real nail on you, baby.
You did.
But what do you think about the whole room assignment?
I think that the rooms are always fun. I think that, you know what, it's kind of like a slow dig at somebody. You know, you're going to pick your people that you really like and give them the favorite room. And the people you don't like as much, they might be either not thought about, or they get the small room and share it in the back. It's some kind of way on these trips, they don't have 8 rooms or however many rooms they need that are exactly the same. It's always you got something, and then you got the nice suite, and then you got somebody else, and then you got a small room at the bottom with twin beds. I don't know why that's always the case. I don't know if y'all just messy when y'all set it up. I don't know. But the people that you least like get the worst rooms. That's just facts.
The thing is this, so I want to bring this up. So obviously the way it works on reality shows is production obviously finds the house. And you're right. You will never find a house. I don't care if you have Jeff Bezos money. You're never going to find a singular home where each room is equal to each other. That's just not the reality of the situation. So these rooms were these rooms based on the house we found. But Melody 100% have full authority over the selection of the rooms because it is her trip. Now, there's a big debate on social media about whether or not Kimmy and Letitia deserved the room that Melody gave her friends that she came there with, which was Shanita and Lauren. There's a debate happening now where people feel like because Kimmy and Tisha have been on the show since season 1 and they're OGs, that by default, they should have been given the best rooms because they've been on the show as long as Melody. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. You know I love Melody. She a Scorpio, but that, you know, she gonna try to get a little dig in. My whole thing is, I was like, who are these two other, like, why? I don't mind you bringing your friends. I I don't. But if this is an ensemble cast, you do not give your friends a better damn room than you get the people on the cast. Come on, Melody, now, come on. I love you, dog. Millimeters don't get in my ass. But I'm telling you,
Maybe Melody feels as if you're just sitting up there, as Carlos is just sitting up there laughing, kikiing, asking these messy questions, leading conversation when you know the truth about how certain context is eliminated from a scene. It's a reality show. She says she gets that. But Dr. Heavenly went in, and look, Dr. Heavenly didn't say stuff that we didn't kind of say in our last recap, that Dr. Shanita was doing a little too much. And I disagree. Just because Kimmy and Tisha are OGs of the show doesn't mean they get the best room. I enjoy the fact that they were so bothered by it, but at the end of the day, we also can't forget that Melody did offer them. It's like, you know, Shanita and Lauren, we'll all share a room, so that you guys can have your room. But they didn't, like, no, it's fine, whatever. Remember that part? I think some of that stuff gets breezed over, but we have to remember that even Dr. Shanita offered her room to Nell when Nell was really upset. Even though Nell had her own room, she was mad about a name tag. Well, Melody had a response to Carlos and Dr. Heavenly's live recap this week. She also went live again, I believe, yesterday, and responded to Dr. Heavenly reaching out to her like a couple of weeks ago in regards to, you know, some of the commentary that she's had on her. But Dr. Melody Shari, there we go, Rodgers is not here for it. She's not here for it. She's referring, and I know who she's talking about. I mean, she didn't say Carlos's name, but she definitely gave a lot of clues. Executive, toxic leadership. Yes, there are other producers and there are other executive producers that she could be referring to, but this is the face of Love and Marriage franchise. This is the face of their show. So for all of the fans, including myself, believe she's talking about Carlos King. I'm actually surprised at how bothered Melody seemed in the footage, and I wonder what triggered her. She says in the footage, she's just like, and here's the thing, I do feel like Dr. Shanita was doing a lot in that moment, probably a little too much. And again, we're watching an edited scene. Who knows what was said? You know, it could be the producers want to give us the same narrative that fans have said. Oh, you know, Melody's always having someone speak for her. Melody says on her Instagram Live, no one's ever had to speak for me. I've always been very verbose. I've always been a very opinionated person. I don't think I've ever believed that Melody needed anyone to speak for her, because clearly of all the people on here, when it comes to arguments, she's probably the most well-equipped. A lot of these folks are like a humana espo. A humma. You know what I mean? So not her and Kimmy are probably, but even Kimmy, when it comes to arguments, look, her argument with Nell, she was ready to fight versus actually using her words. So I never really truly believed 100% that Melody isn't equipped to defend herself. Do I believe that she wants support? And that's why she brought her two single friends on this girls trip? I wouldn't be surprised. And the way that we watched this episode, it was very clear that Dr. Shanita heard a lot and saw a lot, because she probably watches the show, of how the rest of the group felt towards Melody. I am just really surprised that Melody is reacting this way towards Carlos, because I always felt like she knew what she was dealing with. It should be not a surprise to anyone that Carlos King is messy. I'm still shocked that he even has the time. I get it. He has a company, he has producers. I'm shocked that he hasn't even had the time to do a YouTube channel talking about his shows. Again, it helps his shows, but I just find it interesting. But I think he likes the limelight, and there's nothing wrong with that, because we say the same thing about Andy Cohen. Andy Cohen used to be an executive behind the scenes. They like when they get a little glimmer of people knowing who they are, they get intoxicated with it. And that's very clear. That's very clear. But you could tell from Melody's live that she's like, this person is toxic leadership, and she doesn't understand why he's doing what he's doing on his YouTube channel. But part of me thought to myself, is this a scheme that they both set up for us to talk about them and to continue to promote Love and Marriage Huntsville? Well, guess what? We fell for it.
Hell no.
I blame y'all. I had to listen to that 50-something minute video. Then I had to listen to TikTok lives. But here we are talking about it. Let's continue this conversation in the comment section. I want to know your reaction to Melody's reaction on TikTok in reaction to the Messy Mondays recap that Carlos King and Dr. Heavenly did this week. Did you think that what they said warranted Melody's reaction? And what did you think of Melody's reaction? As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.
You bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead, just watch your shoes. Gotta turn the heat up.